comes to my home walking, I asked him, for discipline, I always see my father as the biggest one and biggest idol, actually, I would say. He's my idol for discipline, my father. So I asked him, what is this discipline? My father told me, discipline is nothing but doing something you don't like. This is the definition of discipline. Somebody asked me to explain how to leave laziness. Laziness you can leave because of passion. You should develop the passion. Then you watch movies in the midnight. You watch that because you like it. That's not discipline. But discipline is something you do even if you don't like. So we must practice this. Uh, uh, yeah, channel name is Pannada Surya Prakash, YouTube channel. Everest Pre-Engineering Buildings. Oh yeah, Krishna Chaitanya. That's so. Get up early. First, you will feel difficult. First, you don't feel like getting up, but once you start practicing it, you like it actually. So you have to practice anything that you feel is important for your life. Even if it is difficult, we have to do it. So I am starting my talk. We are a bit delayed. I think today's lecture is much bigger. And so this is also again my favorite topic. I have been doing these transmission line towers design for last more than 30 years. So it's a very interesting topic. You must all listen to it, even if you are not working in transmission line towers. For a civil engineer and a structural engineer particularly, this is the most challenging job. Fortunately, I got opportunity to work on this. So without losing much time, the power transmission is basically to evacuate the power generated. We have power generating stations, whether it is thermal power, coal-based, or whether it is solar power, whether it is wind power. We have to evacuate that power generated and transmit it to distribution stations. So it's a very, very important thing, because if you don't transmit the power, you can't utilize it. So 1,000 megawatts, 10,000 megawatts, nuclear power also nowadays. So evacuation to discharge stations, the distance runs into kilometers actually. We have done power transmission from Vizag to Hyderabad, Vizag Simhadri Power Station, and we have done power transmission from Raichur to Solapur, 300 kilometers, like that. And even these transmission lines run into 900 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers. So it is the most challenging job for engineers, reliable transmission. So the power transmission is done through conductors. So, and the type of transmission is alternating current and direct current. Both types are there. So when the distances are up to 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, people use alternating current. But if the distance is large, they go for direct current, high voltage, HVDC it is called. So long 900 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, it will go into HVDC. And the line configuration is single circuit, double circuit, multi-circuit. That means one circuit is 3 phases, RYB, same 3 circuits. And normally this transmission happens in 66 kV, 220 kV, 400 kV, now very high kV, 765 kVs and all. And there is one IS code, IS 802, and one manual of practice, that is a CBIP, Central Board of Irrigation and Power. They have documented the manual because the codes are always not covering everything. So the users form a committee and document this manual. And climatic zones we have to consider for the loading. Mainly wind is the critical thing, and wind on conductor and wind on tower, because tower is again a lattice tower mostly, and it is also lightweight, and wind on conductors. And extra thing is temperature is critical in transmission. So climatic zones, the snow loads, and minimum temperature, maximum. In India, India is the probably only country where the temperature range is minus 30 degrees in north and northeast to plus 50 degrees. Highest can go up to 55 degrees in Rajasthan and all. So temperature, why temperature is important? Because we have these conductors in transmission, the spans ranging from 200 meters to 450 meters span. So imagine the elongation or contraction of the conductor, and at lower temperature, this conductor causes tension on the tower. It pulls the tower. So we all know the conductor sag also, because it's a flexible cable actually. So the conductor sag is important. Again, sag is dependent on the temperature. Higher the temperature, more is the sag in the cable. And in India, we have wind zones ranging from 33 meters per second to 55 meters per second. That means 120 kilometers per hour to 200 kilometers per hour. And we have wind speeds exceeding even 200 kilometers per hour. And materials that are used for this transmission is steel, mild steel, high tensile steel, and sometimes even super high tensile steel we use. And precast also. The poles, Germans have developed the spun concrete technology, which is also available in India now. At least to my knowledge, there are 3 plants, one in Chandigarh, one in Hyderabad, now in Vijayanagaram, Narsarapet in Andhra Pradesh, and Chennai. So these are the precast spun concrete pole plants, which I have developed the design for transmission for 132 kV also. Conductor material. All aluminum conductor, aluminum reinforced. All aluminum alloy conductor, aluminum conductor, steel reinforced. ACAR, AAC, AAC, ACSR. These are the conductor materials. And we have a single conductor, that means single cable, and twin conductor, 2 cables, quadruple conductor, hexa conductor. Depending on the power to be transmitted, these are decided. For example, the 1000 megawatts transmission we designed in 765 kV, we have used the hexa bundle conductor, And terrain conditions, urban, rural, coastal, hilly region, forests, and farms, fields, river crossing, railway crossing, and all. These are the terrain. I'll be showing you pictures anyway. This is only introduction I'm giving. Grades of material, as I said, the super high tensile steel, mild steel, and concrete we use for foundation is grades of M20, M25, and M30 grade. Soil strata. This is a very typical in transmission. We don't do that deep investigation. We only do soil investigation up to 3.5 meters. Again, as I said in communication towers, for the tower foundations, uplift is critical, not the bearing. So it is very important to understand the angle of repose or angle of internal friction of the soil. So, so we categorize the soils into only 6 types: sandy soil, black-cotton soil, normal soil, soft disintegrated rock, hard rock. And we also consider 4 saturation conditions: dry soil, wet soil, partially submerged soil, and fully submerged soil. These are all defined in CBIP manual, as I said. And the mode of execution of these towers can be private public partnerships, and BOT, build operate toll, and EPC, engineering procurement construction, and a few supply contracts. And another important thing is operation and maintenance. So this is the introduction. So I'll just share with you how we make a typical DPR, detailed project report, in this transmission tower. So here you can see this is a single circuit. It is a horizontal configuration we call. Vertical configuration means one below the other conductor. Horizontal configuration means one on the side of the thing. So this is the conductor. I'll explain these are the insulators, for conductor, these are highly charged. So you need to have this conductor having clear electrical clearance between the metal structure, So, and this is the foundation and pedestal. This is a steel structure, and we have this gantry girder, So project at a glance, project report, you all must be knowing about this. We'll prepare a report on tangible and intangible benefits. You know what is intangible benefit of these transmission towers? They use for communication also. OFC cable is used for earthing, so that both it will be shielding the conductors, and at the same time it will also communicate, because communication is very important, in the times of cyclone and all, when this microwave doesn't work, they use this fiber communication to the electrical stations. We have SCADA also in transmission. Like SCADA is cities like Hyderabad, in smart cities, SCADA is very important, whether it is water supply, whether it is power, smart grids and all. SCADA makes, so SCADA is interconnecting the substations, you know the switchyard where power generation is there, there will be a switchyard. I'll be covering this topic on Monday, substations and switchyards. But we must know that power is transmitted from switchyard in the power generation station to the substation in the cities. Again, from substations, they'll be stepping down 400 kV to 220 kV, 220 kV to 130 kV. Finally, what we get at our home is 240 volts or 400 volts. And so we have 33 kV high tension, 11 kV high tension lines and all. So these are the things. So we make the report with the objectives of the power supply, and how much is the quantum of power supply, what are the losses, all that we do, and generate the budget provision with the provision for drawdown of the funds, that is the cash flow. And the procedure for procurement also is defined in this DPR, and single line diagrams and bar charts, and project management, method of implementation of the project also is discussed in the detailed project report. So project plan report is formal. I'll not go much into the details of this project management, DPR, because I have 310 slides to be covered in another 300 slides in another 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So it is very fast. I have to cover. So I'm not explaining all these aspects. I'm sorry, I'll be sharing the PowerPoint from today onwards. So last 3 days also I will upload in the box drive in Facebook, so you can download this presentation for your details. But for now I'll run fast. Purpose of transmission tower, factors governing the design, tower height. The height of the tower in transmission ranges from 30 meters to 55 meters, 60 meters. And wind pressure is very critical, maximum and minimum temperature, loading on the tower. And project report is prepared with all the recommendations and salient features. Challenges are availability of power in the country, we all know, financial viability, tariff model, and benefits of tangible benefits and intangible benefits. Approvals, design approval, transmission towers are the only towers which are prototype tested. I'll be sharing the testing details also in this presentation. And technical aspects are scope of work, legal framework. Legal framework is important in transmission because we have to get the right of way for putting the transmission line, like in highways and roadways. Right of way, here you don't need to acquire the land, but you need right of way because cables will be there, but you have to acquire the land for or pay the compensation for erecting the transmission towers every 300 meters spacing. So seismic zone, though not very critical, it governs the foundation as I explained for the towers. The wind zones is important. Altitude, that is very important. We draw the cross section of the lines, which I'll show you the drawing that will explain clearly. Marking on the ground to material, machinery, manpower management, all these project management issues are there. Normally, I spend 4 or 5 hours for this topic, but because I'm covering so many topics, I'll cover in 1 hour only, whatever is possible. If anybody is interested specific, I give these lectures in Corporate Training Institute for TS Transco, Engineering Staff College, Institution of Engineers, and this CIRI, Central Institute of Rural Electrification. I give training to foreign students also. So self-supporting towers, conventional guide towers, and all these 400 kV double circuit, river crossing, multi-circuit transposition tower. This is another type of tower transposition where we change RYB to YBR like that, because that's the requirement electrically. And tower extensions. Yeah, transmission towers, we standardize, though there are, it has to run 300 kilometers and there are 700 towers, example, in one line. But we don't design all 700 towers. We design 4 types of towers or 5 types of towers. And we provide for variations in the height. We design the extensions, tower body extension, leg extension. Leg extensions we use in hilly terrains, and body extensions we use for variation in height. You know, the body height variation in the tower can be, if I have a 40-meter tower, I may have extensions up to 12 meters body. That means it will become 52 meters. And leg extensions added to that, we can have from 1.5 meter to 9 meters leg extensions. So these are all the things to be known and noted in this thing. And the shapes of towers, we have vertical barrel type, horizontal waist type, delta type, and H structure type. So these are all the types of towers. Bolting, washers. Normally towers are designed with bolted connections because it is easy to erect, easy to maintain. And the lap and butt joints for splice connections, gusset plates are rarely used, minimized, and bracing to leg connections and connection to redundant members, cross-arm connections, step bolts, and we use anti-climbing device. These are all safety things, and danger and number plates, and the phase and circuit plates, bird guard, aviation. Bird guard means to protect the birds resting on the conductor and all. Aviation requirements, AOL, as I said, packing, transportation, and storage. So methods of erection, we have built-up method, section method, ground assembly method, helicopter method, earthing we do, and tack welding. So guidelines for supervision, as I said, we developed these quality assurance standards also for these transmission towers, tower anatomy, bracing system, tower extensions, tower outline. Tower outline is decided based on the electrical clearance requirements between the conductor and tower body. I'll show you these drawings. It is easier to explain on the, and we need minimum ground clearance because the conductor sags. You need to have ground clearance. The ground clearance varies from 6 meters to even 11 meters. That is the kind of ground clearance depending on the voltage, you know. Environmental criteria, air clearance, clearance and swing. You know, we support the conductor with an insulator between the structure and this insulator can swing. So when it swings, we consider different swing angles, 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and then electrical clearance. So clearance between conductor and ground wear also is very important. That will determine the peak height. I'll show you all in the drawings probably. So voltage, number of circuits, climatic conditions, conductor, earth wire. Earth wire is for earthing, you know, shielding the conductors, you know, from the lightning, and a span. Loadings, we consider, you know, one design of one transmission tower will have up to 180 loading conditions, loading combinations. We have the nature of loads, dead loads, live loads, working loads, that means maintenance loads, and we have minimum temperature, maximum temperature, wind, and we have loads in the direction of transverse, longitudinal, and vertical, XYZ. So security condition, reliability condition, and safety condition. So these are all the conditions we design these transmission towers for. And stress analysis we do, member selection, selection of material, slenderness ratio. Buckling is critical in any steel design, you know. And bracing buckling is point for research actually still. There is a huge scope for research in buckling for the bracings, you know, and optimization of tower design. This is interesting. So, you know, the tower weight is very sensitive to the base width, you know. You can see here, we have studied base width from 4.8 meters to 2.7 meters. The variation of the weight you can see, and there is a 2.265 or 2.27 tons to 2.35 tons. What is the variation? 2.27 means it is about 100 kgs. So we optimize, here it is there, sorry, 2.297 to 2.344. What is the variation here? About 50 kgs. But still we optimize that 50 kgs of weight in the tower design, because as I said, in a line there can be 700 towers. So 50 kgs into 700 towers also is very critical, 35 tons. So that also we optimize in the design. Of course, this is a lighter weight tower. When you go for heavy weight towers, tower weights can go up to 30 tons per tower. So 30 tons into 700 towers, 21,000 tons of steel we use. And I am probably the one of the biggest users of steel in design, because communication towers, transmission towers, all in steel only. And this is the based on number of panels. One parameter we studied before is base width. Another parameter is panel. You know, changing the number of panels. Here you can see I have studied 17 panels in the tower to 16 panels. So the weight variation you can see about again 100 kgs. So this is very interesting for a structural engineer to study why this weight variation is there. I guided a lot of projects also for this. So testing of towers, we do, as I said, prototype testing of these towers, and calibration of the testing station, assembly of prototype tower, rigging arrangement, you know, rigging chart we call, loading calibration ke liye, we actually, every tower testing station will have a different rigging thing. And so we'll verify the rigging chart to check whether the loads considered in the design are being applied in the real testing station. Materials fabrication and galvanizing. As I said, galvanizing is very important for these towers, because galvanizing protects from the corrosion. And so operations in the fabrication, all this we describe in the DPR. And design of foundation is basically types of loads on foundation, uplift, down thrust, and shear. It's a very interesting design for a structural engineer. Concrete used skin friction tests we do. Skin friction, you know, that is the friction between the concrete and the undisturbed soil. Probably transmission tower foundations, wherever, not only transmission, wherever you design the foundation for uplift, it is always good to cast the concrete in contact with the undisturbed soil. Don't put the formwork for the edge of the footing, because that will increase the uplift capacity. The tests were done in Gujarat by electrical engineer on this foundation. Very interesting. He found that the angle of repose, you know, for a sandy soil, angle of repose is 20 degrees. And for a black cotton soil, it is 0. Normal soil, 30 degrees. And he has conducted the tests. If you have in normal soil, if you cast the foundation in contact with the undisturbed soil, you will get a mobilization of the frustum at 45 degrees. Whereas if you don't cast in contact, it is 30 degrees. So uplift resistance will reduce drastically if you don't cast in contact with the undisturbed soil. And you know, the interesting shear capacity between the foundation, concrete and rock, it is, we take 40 kg per cm square. And in case of soft disintegrated rock, we take 20 kg per cm square. This is the friction between the concrete and the undisturbed soil. So this is another study we did, the design options. We consider this is value engineering, a study of a transmission tower, conventional towers, modified conventional pole portal. I'll show you. This is a conventional horizontal configuration for a 765 kVA. You can see the height of tower is 40 meters plus 45 meters for a single circuit. And this is a modified conventional delta configuration we call. So these three conductors, and this is ground wire, and this is called shield angle. This shield angle means the probability of lightning striking within that angle, So 15 degrees that we are considering, and it will protect the conductor from getting charged. And we do the earthing of this shield wire. And this is the pole portal, we used steel as a gantry. Here you can see the height of the thing is reduced because we reduced the span. And these are the precast poles, spun concrete poles. We have designed with this and compared all three options like this. So right of way required, you can see pole portal right of way is 66 meters, whereas the triple V configuration, it is only 56 meters. Right of way means we have to pay compensation. But in India, unfortunately, the compensation is very less compared to foreign countries. That's why in abroad, people go for this less right of way. The spans we have considered 400 meters, 350 meters, and 250 meters. Sag of the conductor, 13 meters, 10 meters, and 6 meters, because it is cubic proportion to span actually, the sag. So it will reduce with the span drastically. And number of locations, you can see here it is 700, here it is 775. Again, locations, number of locations will also affect the cost of acquisition. So finally, we estimated the cost, overall cost for is coming to 4 million, 40 lakhs per kilometer. Here it is 46 lakhs per kilometer. Here it is 44 lakhs per kilometer. And right of way cost, you can see, this is the unfortunate thing, very less, 1.3 lakhs per kilometer right of way cost. This is post 2013 Acquisition Act. So this is the value engineering comparison we do for all these three types. So we have considered all these parameters: completion time, maintenance, durability, quality and reliability, manufacturing, transportation and direction, risk factors are considered for comparison in the value engineering. So these are the scores we have given on a cost on a scale of 10 for each option. Right of way, tower, cost, pole portal is lesser cost actually. Foundation also, it is lesser cost overall. Manufacturing, it is beneficial in pole portal because it is all mechanized with the least inventory. Transport and direction, quality and reliability, pole portal is better quality actually. And durability also, and completion time, pole portal is most economical. It can be completed fastest actually. Maintenance also, pole portal has least maintenance because it is a concrete. You don't have to maintain every year, whereas steel towers you have to maintain every year. Effective cost, you can see both conventional and pole portal are coming same. And next is the quality assurance setup. This I will not explain in detail because of the shortage of time. So survey and investigation, reconnaissance survey we do, alignment survey we do, detailed survey and check survey. Planning, evacuation, distribution points, KV and the configuration, single circuit, double circuit or multi-circuit. Alignment by check survey, walkover survey. So this is the alignment. You can see these points are all the tower locations. You can see this is the transmission. Here in this drawing, we are trying to study two alternative routes. How much cost difference will be there? We do a lot of optimization in the transmission because, as the electrical people put it, tower and foundation cost is unwanted cost, but in the transmission line, if it costs 100 rupees, 60 rupees goes for this tower and foundation. They feel civil is unwanted cost. but it is very important for the performance of the line. So we optimize this unwanted cost to minimum possible. So these are the tower spotting line route that is done. So this is the very important line route we did the study. You know, this is a forest area, white. We cannot take the line through this forest. It is very difficult. There are projects stuck for the sake of environmental clearance through forest for even 20 years. So better not to consider that route through forest, even if it is the shortest. So we go by the longest route, bypassing the forest, even if it costs more. So that's very important point to remember. So this is the alignment of the transmission route we consider. And this is another interesting thing. This is all forest. You can see this black and this one. So we have done these alignment checks also. Optimization of this route alignment. So optimization at every level, identifying the route, and for the given route, identifying the most economical structural system. And once we do that, then economical base width of the tower, and then number of panels. So 4 levels of optimization in the cost of the transmission line. This is a huge scope, and these are the sketch for walkover surveys. We'll run through this survey. I'll show you. This is a report prepared by our engineers. They go to along the route. They get the lat longs of each location, azimuth of the location for each, and here you can see the acquisition cost, compensation for crop to be paid, and what are the nearby features in the survey. We do this. Hemant Reddy, this is for you. You should do all these surveys actually. So this is the river crossing. You can see the location in plan. This is the location of the tower, and this is another location of the tower, and this is a cultivation plain land. This is the lat long, and this is the angle. You know, the line is coming this way and it is going this way. So we prepare these sheets during the walkover survey, you know. So our people also will take the photograph of that location for us to understand the condition of the site, so that we plan the construction, during construction, what are all the costs to be considered. So these are the walkover survey stretch plan, and these are the reports of the walkover survey. Here, for example, there is a railway line. So railway crossing is a special thing we design for this transmission tower. So this is the photograph, railway crossing. So, and this is the drawing. And these are the details considered for river crossing again. So this is the river. You can see we fix the location for river crossing for these towers. And this is the photograph of that location of the river crossing. And this is the rail crossing for survey photographs. And these are the types of towers, schedule of towers. We have a suspension tower, we call. That means the insulator is suspended. That's why we call it suspension tower. Or tangent tower. That means zero. It is a straight line, complete straight line. And B-type tower is small angle tower or tension tower. And C-type is medium angle tower or tension tower again. 15 to 30 degrees deviation. That means the line deviation will be 15 to 30 degrees. And dead end tower or large angle. Dead end and large angle are combined many times. And we have river crossing, road crossing, railway crossing, power line crossing, and telecom crossing. Nowadays, telecom crossing is gone. There are no telecom lines. It's all underground now, OFC cables. So we don't have to worry much about telecom crossing now. Conductor components of transmission is conductor. You can see here, this is the conductor. And in case of twin conductors, we have the spacers. This is called the cross arm. Cross arm supports the conductor and insulator through insulator. This is the earth wire or shield wire or ground wire. 3 names for the same thing. We use the OPGW, optic fiber ground wire, or we also use steel ground wire. And dampers we use for reducing the effect of vibration from the conductor to the tower. And this is the insulator, suspension insulator. And the tower, we have these conductors and dampers. So these are all the elements in the transmission line. And wave traps. Wave traps are also used to reduce the vibration in the conductor, you know. And hardware, we use clamps. We use the clamp for holding the conductor, spacers, vibration dampers, and connectors to the tower. So this is the suspension tower. You can see they're all will be in the same alignment. So this horizontal shift between middle cross arm and top cross arm is to prevent, this is a snow region, you know. When there is a snow, if you have conductor below the conductor, there can be snow in the same falling and transmitting the charge. So we give this shift in snow regions. And this is a small angle tower. You can see this is called the tension insulator. This is the tension insulator here. And this is called the jumper. That means because we want the power to continue, but it has to be insulated from the tower. So you have two tension insulators and the jumper. So here you can see triangular delta formation of the conductor, and we have vertical formation, we have horizontal formation. And so this is the delta formation tower. So this is road crossing, highway crossing. You know, the clearances will be different. That's why we design a special tower in the road crossings. This is also road crossing. You can see we use this multi-circuit towers. That means 4 circuits. Double circuit means 2 circuits. Here this is a double circuit and this is a multi-circuit. So, and we use for road crossing. And this is a river crossing. This is again very challenging for civil engineering execution of the foundation in the river crossing. So we use the pile foundations and well foundations for these river crossing towers. The height of this river crossing can go up to 80 meters. You know, I had the opportunity to design Nile River crossing in Egypt. So these are all the hill crossing. When there is a hill in between, we have to design the clearance considering the hill level, so the tower height will increase. And a power line crossing, here you can see there is an existing line already, and we have to design the tower height more for crossing the power line. So this is a railway crossing. You can see when there is a railway line, we design specially the railway crossing. So design and prototype testing, the basic wind speed, survival wind speed, span of the tower, and factor of safety, which we consider only 6% margin. And type of conductor and ground clearance, exposure category. Exposure category we use in for concrete and all for the cover. And topographic category and drawings we prepare for design drawings, fabrication drawings, assembly drawing, and shop drawings. I'll be showing all those things. So this is a typical design drawing of a tower, general arrangement. So in one drawing, we give all the details of the angles redundant and main legs, horizontals, and bracings. And this is electrical clearance I was talking about. This is a insulator jumper actually, and this is the swing angle. And in plan also, we check the electrical clearance between the conductor. These are all the arcs of the minimum distance to be maintained between the steel parts and the conductor. So we maintain this. And so this is the prototype checklist. We also developed the checklist for quality assurance. And these are all the proto checklists we do. And this is the photograph of the tower. You can imagine 80 meters tower assembled on the ground. And we check this, the base width of the tower will be 16 meters. Even if we do half or 1/4 proto assembly, it will be 8 meters height for the proto itself. So we go and check this, and you can see the complication of the uh, oh yeah, zoom. Somebody advised I can zoom it actually. So this is the joint, very critical joint. You know, this is a cross arm bend where we get a bend in the leg. You can see the bracing. This is a double angle, star angle for the tower. Very interesting. Thank you, Kumaresan, for suggesting to zoom. I always forget this, that I can zoom and show. So these are all the photographs. And so this is the cross arm. You can see how complicated it is, the angles. And so we go and inspect these things and certify. We have this, the checklist for this proto inspection. This is the cross arm tip. Again, you can see so many bolts. This is for connecting the insulator, conductor, and all that. And so this is the conductor cross arm tip where we connect the insulator and conductors. Inventory, we have these angles, connecting plates, step bolts, anti-climbing device, number plate, circuit plate, link plates, danger plate, U-bolts, D-shackles, bird guard, hanger, and all that. This is the inventory we have in transmission tower. And foundation material, we all know this, and vibrators, cube molds, hopper, miller, design mix, dewatering pumps, shuttering props, and leveling jacks. And high-grade electrical porcelain insulators and toughened glass also is used, and fiberglass also used for the insulator. And conductor material, I explained, it is steel and aluminum. This is the insulator fixing. You can see the people working at that heights, 30 meters, and all safety issues. And also this is the insulator with the glass fiber, you know, and this is the conductor while stringing. And here you can see the people erecting the conductor and insulator. We have done some live lines shifting, you know. That means we have in Hyderabad, for example, Raj Bhavan. They don't want to cut the power, take the shutdown for the power for Raj Bhavan. So what we did is we have designed another new tower, shifted the line when it is live itself. So imagine the safety issues for the people. This is for flyover crossing. They had to increase the height of the line. So we have given such designs also. Equipment and power press machine. This is for fabrication, plate shearing machine, pug machine, normal gas cutters, hydraulic power press. All these are, and tools for erection, torque wrench, ropes, helmets, safety belts, derrick poles, channels, and water levels. So this is the fabrication. During fabrication machines, these are all the workshop, typical fabrication workshop. And drilling machine. We can drill the holes, we can punch the holes in the angles, you know. We can punch up to 12 mm thick angles, and beyond 12 mm we do drilling, 16 mm and 20 mm thick steel. We cannot do punching, it is difficult. So profile cutter using for cutting the gusset plates, you know. This is the profile cutter. And the stringing and tensioning. This is for stringing the conductor in the transmission. We use these puller machines. And this is stringing. You can see we are pulling 3 conductors with the machine. So schedule of the project, we do same way, starting from check survey till commissioning is done. And this is the route survey map. After survey is done, this is the route survey map we prepare. I don't know why. Sorry. So this is the, yeah. So you can see the angle points and all. As per the code, we cannot have more than 7 towers in suspension in one go. So this is the, and this is called the SAG template. The cold curve is this smaller depth one, SAG one, and this is called cold curve. Hot curve is the maximum uh, phase one. That is the SAC template which is used for spotting the towers, you know. So this is the tower spotting in the section. Very, you can see we use this template for locating and fixing the height of the tower. So this is the, again, sorry, it's not going zoom beyond this actually, I don't know. So here we give the complete details of each tower, what is the extension to be used, what is the soil type, and what is the clearance we have. So ground clearance is drawn here, you can see minimum ground clearance. And the hot curve is the bottom one, cold curve is the top one. So we consider both for spotting the towers. And these are all the different tower spotting drawings. Yeah, here you can see clearly. Yeah. So these are the tower schedule for double circuit line. This is how we prepare the tower schedule. The tower distance between two towers is varying from 250 meters to 450 meters. That is the different kV. Depending on different kV, we decide the optimum span for the nominal span. So tower foundations, we do soil test, and as I said, basically that soils are categorized into 5 types: sandy soil, normal soil, black hardened soil, soft disintegrated rock or weathered rock, and hard rock. And backfilling is very important, the soil of the backfilling. So this is called dry foundation, plain cement concrete. The tower leg is embedded into the foundation automatically. And this is the angle of repose. Though the excavation line here, yeah, okay. On white it is not showing. Okay, this is the excavation line, and this is the angle of repose. You can see here we are not giving gap between the concrete and the soil. So we cast the concrete in contact with the soil, but we can take precaution, like you can apply the mortar onto the soil so that the cement slurry is not absorbed into the soil. So we just apply the cement slurry before pouring the concrete onto this surface of the earth to prevent any excess, formation of honeycombs, because this edge is very critical for the foundation. And this is undercut foundation. Actually, when I mentioned undercut other day, somebody was asking doubt. In this, it is very clearly shown. You can see this is the excavation line, and this is the actual cone of frustum for resistance of the uplift. So you can see, though when you have undercut, the uplift resistance is better. It anchors. So that's why we go for this undercut type foundations. And this is a pad type, pad and chimney type foundation, and the previous one is a pyramid type thing. Yeah, so this is the depth of frustum. You can see this is the foundation type design. Reinforcement detailing is also shown in this. And this is called the stub. You know, stub is tower leg member is embedded into the concrete. Normally the depth of foundation varies from minimum 3 meters to 3.5 meters maximum. It is not safe to go for beyond 3.5 meters. So we increase the size of the foundation. So this is the photograph of the foundation during implementation. This is the mistake everybody does mostly, dumping of the excavated earth on the site. This is the very risky thing. In fact, we had one accident in one of the sites because of this dumping of the earth on the site. So try to prevent that. So this is the concreting in the tower. Here you can see the angle is embedded in the chimney, pedestal of the foundation, and concreting is being done. So this is the reinforcement and pile foundation. This is the pile concreting is being done. And this is called the template for setting the stub. Hot curve for clearance and cold curve for tension. And this is the stub drawing. You can see these cleats we designed these bearing cleats for 50% of the uplift resistance capacity. And this is the river crossing. You can see the beam is precast, and these are we are putting the foundation in the river. So this is the pile foundation basically. And this is after for casting of the concrete after putting the beam girders. This is the stub template. Here you can see the stub template. This is erected. These are the 4 stubs. And after erecting this stub template, we check the level, everything, and then put the concrete for these pedestals. This is the stub template. And this is the tower alignment of stub with template checking before dispatch. So this is the template erected. This is temporary actually. We remove this template after the checking of the stub alignment and level. And this is after completion of foundation casting. You can see here we have removed the template and the stubs are there in place. Now we start the erection of the tower from here. So checklist we have, as I always say, we have to have the method statements and checklists for every construction. So we have this checklist, and this is the checklist for the foundation. This is the checklist for stub setting, acceptance, diagonal checking, and dimensional measurement, everything. And then procurement, angles, plates, hardware, stub bolts, and this is the materials in plant, the fabrication plant which we designed. You can see the process line. So we have to optimize the movement of the material always for like a lean construction. And this is the raw material checklist, fabrication workshop, and fabrication checklist, galvanizing checklist. I'm showing typical only packing checklist. So before dispatch, we do the packing checklist, and dispatch checklist we have, and this is the final dispatch checklist, and erection checklist. And then software. I'm left with 10 minutes. I'm sorry. This is a very important software we use for design of the towers. We tested towers which we designed using this software recently in Iraq, and first tower design we did was in Middle East, Abu Dhabi, and then we have also done in Africa, US, Malaysia, most of the countries. So right now we are working for a Nepal project, and we have done in India also 765 kVA, 400 kVA, 220 and 130 kVA. So these are the sag tension calculations. We do the sag tension calculations as per the conductor and ground wire data for considering the temperature, wind and ice, tension and sag. We consider ground wire sag versus conductor sag, catenary parabolic equation, cubic spline we use for solving this sag and tensions, and electrical clearances are required to check the cross arm length, cross arm spacing, vertical and horizontal, and the peak height or body height. So expert data. So if you tell me the conductor type and kV and the wind speed, I can tell what will be the optimum base width. We have designed so many towers, so we become an expert. And the top width, peak base, cross arm height, and vertical and horizontal configuration. Peaks, for 2 peaks we consider for 400 kV, that means 2 earth wires. And the panels in the tower we have K-type, K-type, X-type, V-type bracings, and N-type. And body extensions I explained: high tensile steel, mild steel, and the built-up section, star angle and back-to-back angles, and 4 angles also we use, and redundants and spans. So this is the geometry, substructures. We model the whole tower as a substructure. We have fixed patterns like X bracing, K bracing, and N bracing, and duplication. Normally these tower panels will be duplicating. So we have symmetry also in the tower. If you have X axis and Y axis, one corner if you define, it is symmetrical. The software depends on this. And flexible pattern, that means you can define any pattern. And we have expert database That means you need not define every time the tower pattern. You can just assemble the tower by collecting the patterns from the library, which we have developed. Complete foundation. Yeah, redundant members. Also, we have a library of patterns. I'll show in the drawing that is better. Preliminary design, loads, calculation of self-weight, conductor loads, and wind on structure, deviation angle, which will cause the tension in the yeah, specific code for the transmission towers is IS 802. There are different parts for design, load calculation and all. The difference between 875 and 802 is 802 goes by hourly wind speed. For towers, you can take hourly mean velocity of the wind, and on which we can apply the gust factors. And gust factors are given specific to transmission towers, whereas IS 875 gives the factors for general, any structure, not necessarily for towers. That is the difference. And ice and temperature loads also we consider. Analysis we do, finite element analysis, and mathematical modeling is required for the towers, because triangulation is practically doesn't happen many times. Practically you don't need also. But for analysis, you need the triangulation for mathematical, matrix, diagonal, definite, positive definite diagonal elements. So support modeling, foundation, and the solution of equation, they're all considered in the software. And a redesign effective length of the members and the allowable stresses in the steel, we calculate based on the Rankine's formula. And then bolt design, tension and compression design, stress ratio. These are all the things. Detailing, we consider gauge lines, joint details are done, lap or butt for splice connection, and length of members is limited to 6 meters, 6.5 meters, because of the transportation issues. And the foundation we design for all the higher levels. That means for each tower, there will be 4 higher level, 3 meter normal tower, 3 meter extension, 6 meter extension, 9 meter extension, 4 higher levels, and you have 5 soils with 4 exposure conditions. That means 20 combination. So 20 into 4, 80 foundations for one type of tower. This is the challenge. And these are the software features. I'll not explain much here, but this is the software. Again, the same software we use for microwave towers and transmission tower. Only in the initially you have to choose, this is a transmission tower, and you can see we have this library of patterns here. And so this is the tower configuration for 400 kV. You can see the 2 ground wires here. And so this is the tower design criteria, and this is the drag coefficient values for the tower, and K2 factors you can edit. And this is the load trees, how we apply loads to the tower. These load trees are important because we test these towers. I'll quickly run through this. I'll not explain in detail. If anybody is interested, you can write to me. I'll conduct a special class for tower software alone. SAC calculations, because I train people on this. This tower software presentation itself will take 1.5 hours. And so this is the pattern definition, and this is the user-defined patterns, and this is the export patterns. That means we can save these patterns for future use. You need not define again what is the pattern and all. So this is the substructure details, 3 meter extension and 6 meter extension and all that. And this is the differential legs. Here you can see that tower base levels are different. So in hilly terrain, we use this differential legs. 4 corners will be 4 different legs. And this is the complicated, this kind of tower also, we have got the library of patterns for this. And here you can see 4 legs are 4 different levels. So on a hilly terrain, you don't do the benching actually. It's risky to do benching in hilly regions. So that is why we make the tower legs, 4 legs different. And so this is the inputs for the wind load calculations. And one report will cover all the loading combinations, reliability condition, security condition, safety condition, and all. And these are the load trees. We make load trees for each condition and for testing, actually. That is for testing purpose. And this is the foundation design in the software. We'll have a pile foundation, raft foundation, undercut foundation, hard rock anchor foundation, spread footing with chamfered base and spread footing. And we have pyramid type foundation also. So this is the stepped foundation. And finally, reports generated by the software cover like a total report, panel-wise design report, bill of material, and bolt design report, and analysis report, and the loads report. So these are all the reports, bill of material, and this is the design report, and this is the bolt design report, and this is the design report of the members. Here you can see the angle, tension, compression, and even the governing condition, the security, what are the governing case for compression, governing case for tension. This is important for planning the tower testing. So this is the transmission tower loads, and this is the design drawing, electrical clearance, and this is the general arrangement drawing, and this is the plan views of the tower cross arms and base belts. These are the extensions, 3 meter and 6 meter, and these are the load trees report, and this is the pyramid type, pad type, and these are the fabrication drawing, assembly drawings and fabrication drawings. And this is the ground wear peak and testing. So here you can see a 50-meter tower is erected for testing, and prototype full tower is applied with 100 tons. And this is the test station drawing. You can see this is the tower base, and this is the transverse loads and the longitudinal loads. So this is the, you can see rigging chart. This is called the rigging chart. So we apply the loads and details of testing. This testing itself will take 1 hour to explain. So this is the test report of one tower. You can see witnesses. Here we are there. My signature also is there. And testing is done. After successful testing, we make the report. I mean, this is a tower which has just failed for 6% loading, excess loading. So it should not fail. It should fail within 20% excess loading, and it should not fail within 4%. So it failed in 6% is a real success for the designer, accuracy in the design. So this is the after failure photograph of the tower, certified with the photograph, and the drawings are also, and this is the team witnessing the testing actually. So this is the base, this is the erection for prototype for testing, and this is the splice connection, and this is the test station photograph for longitudinal loads. And so this is the photograph of the crane, and this is while testing with the loads on the tower. And this is a multi-circuit tower under testing. And this is a 400 kV tower. So that's all. I could cover almost all, but it definitely requires a lot of attention from all the viewers. So I'll be sharing the presentation in Box Drive in our Facebook page, Smart Infresh. So from today onwards, I'll be loading. We have one participant regularly who does it. So he messaged me yesterday. Modify the steel design of cell or micro tower and used as transmission. No, there are the loadings are much different for transmission and microwave. And can you brief on the retrofitting techniques in case of failures? Yes, I have a separate presentation for retrofitting. Construction, this gives me elaborate details of towers. Thank you, Ganesh Jairas. And We'll try to conduct tower design session separately. 7 a.m. I can't start the lecture. And please try to show complete foundation and erection, start to end in river crossing. Yeah, that's really interesting. They're all specific, very specialized things, you know. Panel distance. The panel heights, I have designed the highest panel is 16 meters in one tower, where the base width was 12 meters or 14 meters. The panel height optimum came to 16 meters. So, and the smallest panel is 1.5 meter height. So that is the panel height. And the spans are 250 meters through 450 meters, as I said. And in India, where we use air crane, yeah, wherever we have challenging locations like now Leh and Ladakh, there will be sudden requirement of power, let us say. Then you have to use helicopter method to erect these towers, power and communication. Yeah. So thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I'll conclude it. Anyway, you can also watch again in YouTube if you have any doubts on what I explained faster. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow topic is on valuation of assets. That's also an interesting topic. So I'll stop sharing first. Yeah. And stop Facebook. Yeah, stop live. Okay. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.